Hey there everyone, my name is Paula. I wanted to drop in with a little video about seasonal affective disorder. I want to humanize this disorder. I really am using it in quotes for real, because I don't think that large groups of us, huge amounts of people across the globe randomly become disordered like clockwork once a year. I think we really need to think about how we use the word disorder and maybe some lovely alternatives to this. So if you're new here, welcome. What is up? My name is Paula. I do one-on-one coaching actually for folks with complex trauma, for folks who want to have better relationships that are actually calm and easy and not chaotic, maybe like the ones that you grew up with that were modeled to you. I do somatics with people, so that's sensation-based body work, the non-cognitive stuff, and I also do parts therapy. This is where we get super creative. It's kind of like arts therapy. And I also use shadow work, creative branches of shadow work to get into the deep, dark stuff and start processing some of those things that make us play these very sticky roles in our lives. But if you're interested in that, I'll put some links in my bio. I've written like half a novel about my program and what you can expect. So the link will be down below. I also have an Instagram. I am on my IG pretty often, so come join the Instagram fam if you want as well. But other than that, let's get into this little video. Seasonal affective disorder does have some truth to it, like in that name, yes. I'm not going to sit here and deny that weather does not affect me. Weather affects me deeply. Every winter, like clockwork, especially January. I live here in Canada. January is especially rough. Some people actually also have written to me over on my Instagram page and said they experienced the equivalent of seasonal affective in the middle of the summer when the heat's really hot. So I see seasonal affective as more so a response and a validation of the fact that your body is very connected to the earth. Even with the super modernized lifestyle that we live, even if you think you are the least connected person to nature that is alive, even if you are a material girl, it's an undeniable connection. Your body is nature. It is one and the same thing. And it gets to a point where we all need rest. So across the board, a lot of the symptoms of seasonal affective are like this feeling of being frozen, this feeling of being like forced to wait. Again, I'm using like all examples that people have written in with. For me, I experienced just sadness, just like this deep freaking heaviness and a lot of frustration. I don't know if any of you guys also relate to that, but like I am mad for the month of January. I'm fucking pissed for the month of January. I want it to be over so fast. And I just want to go to somewhere tropical. I want to not be here. I want to just not be here. I want my reality to not be my reality. So, all of these things are basically asking us to increase our window of tolerance. Window of tolerance is a very like Psych 101 term. It kind of describes this area of comfort in the nervous system where the average person is able to take in information, process their emotions, be one with the world in a healthy way. When we're in our window of tolerance, we're kind of like our best selves. The point though is that over our lives, our window of tolerance increases. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more at a pace that is really good for us as individuals. It is a completely individual journey. But here's the thing, when we start to label our human experiences, these little like knocks on our own windows of tolerance from our inner world that say like, hey, I'm here with a lesson. I want you to be like really quiet for weeks and I want to see what you get from this. And we don't know what to do with that because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but socially we're not really given an emotionality 101 course when we're growing up. And so it's very, very easy to label these experiences of expansion or these requests for expansion from our inner world as disordered. Like, this shouldn't be here, this is really uncomfortable, this is making me act in ways that are not ideal, that are not super productive. that are not really me. They make me act outside of my regular personality. Like, it fucking sucks down here. It sucks. It's really easy to just label that shit as a disorder. There is some good in being able to label our experiences. First of all, we get to label our experiences. It's a little bit of control, and that can buy your brain some time to comprehend what the hell is happening to you. So I'm not saying we all need to sit here and like fix our approach to our experiences when it is the winter of your life. We don't need to become these perfectly performing, perfectly attuned human beings at any specific pace. So sometimes just applying the label and being like, I need to buy myself some time with this label. I am finally admitting to myself, I go through some kind of shit, either in the winter, the summer, the whenevers. Some kind of thing does set me off. It's actually a huge deal to be able to just admit that. To be able to say, yeah, I have a hard time in the winter. Because for the longest time, I did just try to trudge through the winter. I didn't give myself any of these little treats. That was all my body really wanted when it was a really harsh winter. Like, I just wanted tropical fruit. I just wanted to be reminded of the sun. I wanted to go to like a sauna or a tanning bed. I just wanted something. So there was a version of me that denied it all and was like, nope, I don't have needs. I can get super tough and just like get through every day with force. So labeling our experiences sometimes is the first step, but to sit there forever and just kind of grow to have this disdain for whatever season it is that sets you off just gets to be a really sticky, like extremely dread-filled relationship with some kind of thing going on inside you that just wants to express itself. So I think to stick the label of disorder on this is to dramatically over-medicalize a human experience. It is very normal for you to be grieving the loss of the sun, or maybe too much sun for some bodies, to be missing the version of you that does feel like the highest energy version of you. So these are more so like, in my experience, and also when I work with clients, these are the deeper questions or the deeper validation that people are looking for when they come to me with experiences of some kind of disorder. This really does apply to a lot of different disorders out there, but I'll keep this one to the seasonal. So getting to ask yourself questions like, wow, what is it that makes it so hard for me to be friends with my vulnerability? Seasonal affective disorder tends to make us kind of go flat on our butts, flat on our backs, flat on our faces, flat down in bed. Like, we're no longer the high-functioning, high-energy people that we once were. We're very vulnerable. We're very, like, prone and, like, emotionally naked in these positions. So start to see if that wakes up something in you that feels like a little bit of truth coming out. And what these experiences are often asking of us is, hey, are you willing to be friends with this part of you? Even though you have no idea how to do it. Even though it's really scary. Are you willing to just sit there in the sometimes oppressive silence of January for 1 minute longer? So again, it's not about like becoming this war machine superhuman who is never upset when depression rolls around or when sadness rolls around. But keeping your eyes out for it and being like, oh, this is actually an expansion of my experience. This is actually like me asking to be even more myself. We're looking for a deepening here. Look for the signs of your deepening. There is probably a part of you deep down in there. It rears her head up when it comes to January or deep August or whenever, and it says, hey, yeah, you really are this tired. Yeah, you really are this sad. Yeah, you really do have this much frustration around your sadness. I do find that at the core of seasonal affective disorder is a lot of grieving people. A lot of people who are just sad at the loss of energy. And it can especially happen either in the midst of like prepping for any holidays that you might celebrate, or right after the holidays. So we're kind of seeing like a very earthy, very environmentally based swing in energy. It's like we were going way, 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 way up here, and our bodies just kind of knew, like, this ain't it. It's supposed to be winter. We're supposed to be, like, sleeping down here. And so we either feel the vulnerability hangover, because it took a lot of protectors, a lot of performance to be way, way up here for, like, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate. Meanwhile, biologically, we're supposed to be gearing down for sleep. And so when we hit that ability to sleep, when things do go quiet, it's like a shock to the system. It's like a wall. Like, we've just lost. We've passed through this huge vortex, and now we're just like, bleh! Still feeling like we're spinning, but there's actually not a lot going on. And it takes the body a long time to process that. So for me, when I have, like, these seemingly endless walls of frustration going through me, I'm fighting peace. I'm fighting rest. It doesn't feel safe. I thought we were supposed to be going at this pace, guys. Didn't we all have some agreement here? We're always supposed to be going, like, way, way, way like this. And so for me, it's actually an expansion of myself to be able to acknowledge that, like, I also have this really quiet side. And she's actually so quiet and so peaceful that she scares other parts of me. And it wakes up my anger and my frustration and, like, all of these parts that say, there is no way you're really like this. This is not okay. This cannot be good. And think about it too, we've been often conditioned to believe that if we are not high performing, it is fundamentally going to get us kicked out of society. We're going to lose our job. We're going to lose our position in the family. We're not okay. We're the messed up ones. We're the black sheep. We won't have friends. We won't have connections. This stuff goes deep. Like, we can get into shadow work talk here. I won't. But I wanted to at least leave you with a little reframe of seasonal affective disorder. There's a lot going on. It is not just some random kind of sad time that should be passed over again and again. I think especially if you get this chronically, your body is really trying to message you. She ain't giving up. Your body is a mad truth teller. It's also a relentless truth teller, and especially if you find that your seasonal affective disorder comes back to visit you every year, she's just standing at your doorstep being like, hi, I have this, like, whole other side of you. I'd love to know if you'd like to integrate her or not. Are you brave enough this year? Or at least, can you integrate 1% more than you did last year? That's really it. And that's what I want to include here as kind of like the trauma-informed version of this talk. We do not have to be perfect. It is way more worthwhile to tune in with your real pace of life and what you can actually do for yourself. So if it just, for you, next time your seasonal affective disorder shows up, I hate that I keep using the word disorder, but there it is. The next time this experience shows up for you, see if you can give yourself half a day more to just sit there undistracted and be like, this is what I'm like when I'm not at my quote-unquote peak. This is a whole other part of me that maybe I just do not know how to be with. And let it be really awkward, and let it be weird, and let it be scary. And that's step one. And that is a perfect step one. Whenever you're at the edges of, like, oh my god, this is really me, but you're still able to be there processing it. You're not, like, pushing yourself so hard that you're dissociating or you're coming out of the experience or you freak yourself out for days. That's what I mean by finding your natural pace. So if any of you guys are interested in doing that with a coach, that's what I do. I do my sessions virtually, and as I said, I'll leave all the info down below if you want to read about what I do. And there's also, like, a little Facebook chat icon on my website, so if you want to just, like, hop on there and talk to me as a real human, I will actually get back to you. And you want to ask me any questions about what I do and how I do it and what my goals are for you as a potential client in my program, don't hesitate, my friends. This is kind of like my life's work. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you guys have any other requests for topics, hit me up. That's what I love to hear. I'll see you guys very soon.